Fire, fire, fire.
He must have deserved it. Jesus Christ. We need to talk about the everything is Ben's fault problem.
I am so done with this motherfucker, y'all. I'm so done with this motherfucker. Look at this. My damn game. I'm in a damn. What? What? What my PS5 gotta do with us?
Comments.
Oh my god, man. You know what's fucked up? She took it apart so that the equipment would like get even more wet, because like if you just dunk it in there, it might actually not, like, you know, break. I'm thinking to myself, like, that's like $600-700, man.
My PS5 gotta do with us.
Comments read,
man.
oh, you been cheating. Now tell the people what you did. She was just washing it for you.
Okay, that one's funny. That one's a little bit funny. Like, she was just washing it for you, cuz.
Slapping my BF for no reason.
Nah, that's disrespectful. Any physical contact like that? Nah.
Another one? First slap made him waked up. Girl, it's okay. I did the same thing.
Like, there's a difference between play fighting and smacking someone over the head.
Why do guys do that dramatic thing with their eyes? My boyfriend be doing that. For real.
For real,
yes,
for
he was being
real.
so dramatic responding to you slapping him upside the head multiple times for no reason. So dramatic. This says, I don't get jealous, I get insane.
I hate bitches like this. There was a girl at my work. She was obviously insane, but like I had to work with her, and sometimes she would just like say like the dumbest stuff, like, I have a new boyfriend, right? Come get. I have a new boyfriend. Alana, come here. It's lunch break. We gotta talk about this. He doesn't pay attention to me. So I took his phone and like I broke it, and I'm just like, okay, did you get him a new one? No. And I'm like, that's not funny. And she's like, what do you mean it's not funny? And I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck, bitch? What's wrong with you? Obviously not all girls are like this, but there's definitely some crazy hoes out there. Yeah, like, you have to work with them, and obviously you can't like tell them what the fuck to do, but like the stories I heard were like fucking crazy. I see this like all the time. If I drive into town, there's always someone's car that got keyed. And you know it's not just like a side swipe, it's someone getting their car keyed because it's all over the car. I see this like in the city pretty frequently. If I visit, I see at least one parked car that has something like this happen to them.
Caption reads, 10 pounds and I'll do your exes as well.
Oh, defacing property? That's a knife. I mean, it's the same principle, man. Like, you're keying the car. You're damaging the car. Isn't that a crime? Yeah, and then she filmed it and posted it on the internet for everyone to see.
Don't react this way for nothing. We accept this. 10 pounds? I'll give you 50 pounds, girl. I see no problem here. This used to be me. I miss those days. Love this. Go, girl.
I miss being a schizo bitch. Whoa.
Finally, my people. This isn't insane, by the way. Do you do weddings? When's your next availability?
Hi guys, I'm so excited because I'm gonna go key my ex's car in like an hour. If all of you want to see me key his car, it's actually his truck, but I just woke up and I decided I wanted to key it. I'm wearing this pajama set that I just got from TJ Maxx because it's so cute and girly and like.
Wait, you're going out in public in your PJs? That's fucking weird. Like, car keying aside.
If he sees me, I want to look hot, so I'm keeping my makeup on. My hair's a little wavy because, yeah, if he sees me, I just need to look good. It's 8 o'clock right now, and I'm probably going to go at like 8:45 whenever it's darker so that I don't get caught on the Ring doorbell. Because then there's no proof that I did it.
Oh, you're worried about
I don't have like a ski mask or anything.
You're worried about getting caught, but you're gonna post on the internet about doing it. Bitches be trifling, man.
Also, like I said,
This is
I
probably
good,
not
so
a
I'm
good
not gonna
idea.
wear a ski mask.
If you're worried
So
about
yeah,
getting
follow if you want
caught.
to see me in Kia's car. The video should be up in like an hour and 20 minutes.
Like your full name is
just
your
take my
username.
logo, and I think I look. This is a cute king car outfit. It's not a car.
We
It's
need to
just
bring
a
back
truck.
a
I don't know why I
sound,
keep
bro.
saying car.
LMAO, I like you, you're funny. My first impression, and I look up to you. There is a unique phenomenon where whenever something bad happens to a man, society's knee-jerk reaction seems to be, well, what did he do to deserve it? There is this automatic presumption that no matter what happened to him, no matter how horrible, he must have done something to bring it on himself, especially if a woman is involved. After all, women can't possibly cause harm in relationships.
Well, yeah, because women are also paraded around as the gender that's weaker and can't physically hurt men, and that's why domestic violence that happens to men is less likely to be reported. That's another key factor. Yeah, like, that's just kind of how it is. Society do be like that.
No, the man must have done something to make her act
Yeah,
that
she's
way.
just crazy.
And it's
you know?
not just
she
in
got triggered.
relationships. If a man gets laid off or loses his job, well, he must have effed up somehow. But especially...
You know what fucking sucks? This also kind of just reminded me of work. When I worked, and it was like in a female, like a heavily female space. Like there was a couple men that worked there. But it was a mostly female space. And one time they're like, I think my coworker like screamed at her manager. And they brushed it off. And this irked me a lot. They brushed it off and said something like, oh, well, she's just on her period. And I'm like, what? What? You screamed at your manager? You should lose your job. Like if a man screams at their manager, they lose their job. But it's like, if a girl screams at their manager, it's like, oh my god, she's just being a girl, sweetie. It's like, no, you should control yourself. I don't give a fuck if you're on your period. If a bitch screams at me and then her excuse is, oh, I'm on my period, I'm smacking her back. Like, the fuck do you mean? I don't give a fuck if you're on your period. That's not an excuse. You're just acting like a bitch.
With relationships. If there's a divorce, he must have been a dog shit husband. And don't even get me started on false allegations. Even when an allegation is proven to be demonstrably false,
yeah,
very rarely will that man ever see justice or even recover from the damage.
Yeah, a voice actor that I really, really liked in World of Warcraft, he played a lot of really cool characters. All of his voice lines got removed because he was accused of SA. He went to trial. He was found completely not guilty. Like, not even a shred of like, oh, well, maybe he did this bad thing, or like, he did this one little bad thing and all this. They removed it all, replaced him, and then he never worked there again. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't even, I don't know if he voice acts or not, but he pretty much got wiped off the face of the planet. Yeah, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, did he get a job back? Nope.
Of those allegations. People tend to just shrug their shoulders and say, oopsie, and move on and leave him to just pick
Rick
up.
and Morty had the same problem. But they found out that he was still being a fucking jackass. He was still horrible, I'm pretty sure, no? Like, yeah, he got accused of worse things, but then it came out that he still was a dickhead, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was still, like, stalking and doing weird fucking shit.
Up the pieces by himself. And so today I'm finally going to talk about it and address it. What is going on with this social reflex that kicks in whenever
but stalking
a man
isn't,
is hurt?
so
why is it that
retard moot
instead
point.
of empathy, he just immediately gets interrogation? Why is it that instead of support, all he gets is suspicion? Why is it that no matter what, men are not receiving help? They're receiving moral audits. Because that's exactly what happened in a very specific incident that I want to talk about today that inspired this video topic. I knew I had to cover this when the other day I was just scrolling through threads and I came across a horrific image of a man with a massive black eye. And the caption read, goal for 2026, find a chick that can control her emotions. The implication being that this man suffered intense and aggressive intimate partner violence at the hands of a woman. Man. And what happened next made me just wanna...
I I mean, you could see it with the Amber Heard shit. She would constantly fucking instigate and push Johnny, and then the entire time the trial was happening, they had to disprove every single point of her making, like, oh, well, Johnny's a horrible person. He started everything, and then it turned out he didn't do anything. Like, yeah, the guy's mentally ill, and he was, like, overworked, and she did do some, like, offhand shit because of his behavior of drinking and stuff, but he never, like, actually laid a hand on her until she started attacking him and stuff. Yeah, like, it was all like this, oh, I'm a victim, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, she shit in his bed and stuff. Yeah, like, drugs and drinking aside, like, obviously, that's not great, but, like, he never did the things that she initially accused him of.
Introduce our video sponsor before we get into the story time. What did you think I was implying? My most unhinged segue yet. I am once again so grateful to have Anson Belt and Buckle sponsoring today's video. Anson Belt and Buckle is a family-run brand that has completely reinvented the belt game.
Okay, that's a funny segue.
I actually got so annoyed with belt holes not lining up right or getting so stretched out that I actually just quit wearing belts. But Anson brought me back with their micro-adjustable track system, so it actually fits perfect every time. When you just slide it and hear that click, it's so satisfying. They have a wide variety of styles, and it is so incredibly simple to just switch them out and swap with each other. What you want? You need work, professional, date night, casual, it's all here, baby. And because Anson Belt and Buckle is sponsoring this here video, when you click the link in my description box down below, or the QR code right here on screen and build your own box set, you're gonna get 2 additional bonus pieces, 1 belt and 1 buckle. That means you're gonna get 3 belts, 3 buckles. That's 9 unique combos all in 1 box. It's an exclusive deal you're not gonna find anywhere else. So hit the link, build your box set, and upgrade that belt game today. So like I said, I knew I had to make a video on this topic when I was scrolling through threads, saw these photos of this man with a horrible black eye, and then I saw the comments. Now, I spoke to this individual and he quickly removed this post, so he's asked that I do not show the photos or his username. Okay. And out of respect for him, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show the discourse that followed. If you're wondering why he doesn't want his information out there or the photos shown, often escalates when a victim finally leaves, and it can get especially worse when that person seeks out help or support.
Yeah, so they use blackmail and like threaten them and stuff. It's horrible.
So I'm not going to victim blame him for trying to protect himself, because as you're going to quickly find out, the man has received enough blame already. Let's get right into this comment from Moonweaver's Garden. She says, "You sure about that, bud? Seems like you've got plenty of issues of your own to work out. You should look into reactive abuse. It may be very enlightening about your situation." There's more to her comments, but I'm going to pause here in case some of you have never heard of reactive abuse. Reactive abuse happens when a person is—
Look, my rule of thumb is if you switch the genders and it still sounds really fucking bad or even worse, then it's a fucking retarded argument. No, like, I hate this fucking thing. I just hate this fucking stupid, these statements of, like, you should, like, look into reactive abuse. You probably deserved it because, like, she's lashing out at you. It's like, yeah, if the shoe was on the other foot, it still sounds fucking bad. How about that?
Just pushed, it's abuse, manipulated, man. Gaslit, provoked so far that they react in a way that appears abusive, lashing out, screaming, maybe even throwing things. But the difference here is that this is so completely outside of their typical character, and they never would have done this without being pushed so far. And a lot of abusers thrive on pushing their victims to the point of reactive abuse, because it gives them an excuse to point and say, see, I told you they were crazy. Now, reactive abuse is real, and punching someone in the face may be a reactionary response, but punching someone in the face is still assault. It is still illegal outside of self-defense, even if you felt provoked. With that said, let's read the rest of Moonweaver's
little— Like, in a court of law, if someone's yelling at you and saying nasty shit, you punching someone in the face is still what the court looks at as assault, because even if the person's provoking you, they're not inherently doing anything wrong. Unless it's like niche cases, I suppose. But still, like, you can verbally assault someone, and it's still like on a pedestal higher if you put your hands on someone.
thesis to see why she thinks that blatant violent assault was justified through the reactive abuse framework. She continues on, the abuse doesn't start when hands are put on each other. It starts with that emotional unpredictability and dishonesty. I'm sure substance abuse and hunting for bitches while in and freshly out of a relationship don't help either. Men definitely deserve to be lonelier. So here, I guess, to help with her little evidentiary hearing, she posts pieces of his Threads post history, specifically outlining 2 posts. The first one she highlights says, day 2 of not drowning my sorrows in vodka. So this must be the post in which she gathers enough evidence to accuse this man of having a substance abuse issue. Crazy though, because this context actually implies the opposite. It actually implies that he is interested in achieving sobriety. Whether you're on day 1 or day 100, intentional sobriety deserves to be celebrated, first of all. But second of all, that post alone does not indicate or prove a long-term issue with substance abuse. Also, I'm sorry I have to keep censoring the word abuse. YouTube is just very, very strict about that kind of thing.
Cringe,
it's not me. I would love to say words. Based on all of the other posts that she's cited, it's pretty clear that this man is just going through a depressive episode, likely because of his toxic relationship. Extensive research and empirical data continuously tells us that people who are experiencing intimate partner violence or domestic violence have a tendency to self-medicate. And this isn't an excuse or a justification.
And you also don't know what this guy's going through. Maybe he has a history of like fucking dealing with this horrible stuff, and this is what's freaked up about psychology. It's that if you come from a place that comes from, God, I can't say the word without fucking constantly having to censor myself, but if you come from a bad place, sometimes what your brain does is that you want to keep seeking it out because that's all you know. So maybe this bitch may be crazy, but he's with her because he's dealing with her because that's all he knows.
But it's important to understand why this happens. Many survivors of trauma develop chronic stress reactions, and one widely recognized model, the self-medication hypothesis, suggests that these survivors are a lot more likely to use alcohol and drugs to try to dampen or numb these triggers, such as flashbacks, anxiety, and PTSD. Personally, I'm proud of this man for recognizing that he was developing bad habits, naming them, and then holding himself accountable publicly in a way that was basically asking for help. Not a lot of men have the bravery to do that. In fact, most men choose the route of just suffering in silence, which becomes
which is pretty normal for men because men are told to bottle up their emotions.
More understandable when you see how many of them are just blamed and shamed the moment they choose honesty and vulnerability, as we're seeing here. And the next post,
what's that? What is this fucking thing? What's this saying? God, I lost my train of thought. Alana, that's not entirely true. Most states have the legal concept of fighting words, with the courts recognize that it's possible to say something so egregious that it legally justifies a violent response. Don't tell me semantics on states. It's all dependent in the court of law. Generally speaking, if you say, fuck you, bitch, that's not usually, like, yeah, sure, it's insulting, but it's not a good defense for, like, oh, that's why I threw hands. It's all situational, it's all dependent, it is all up to fucking what state you're in, too.
Here that Moonweaver has circled to imaginably imply that this man kind of had it coming was this one that says, hunting for bitches at the club. Now listen, I'm not going to do a lot of heavy lifting to defend the legitimacy of such a post. I certainly would not recommend any of you guys to post such a thing. It's pretty crass and ugly at best, and dehumanizing and misogynistic at worst. I'd even venture to guess that he may have posted it to incite some kind of reaction. But to imply that it's offensive enough to warrant a black eye? If we punched each other over every offensive post we saw online, we'd just all be dead. I mean, you really think that posting hunting for bitches at the club on Threads is enough to warrant getting punched directly in the eye, potentially causing lifelong orbital damage?
And this is what you can't argue in a court of law. Like, you literally can't. Sir, He said he was hunting bitches at the club. Maybe he was quoting a song. Like, you literally can't check the intent either.
Damage and blindness.
It's retarded. It's a retarded
argument.
argument.
Are you fucked in the head? Like I said, it's an
Yes.
ugly thing to post, but let's dive even deeper into it. Because based on his other posts, I was assuming that they were either already broken up by that time, in the middle of their breakup, or had already been in some kind of completely unestablished situationship type thing. But let's go ahead and try to give as much possible charity to her claims that we can, and let's assume that they were in a completely monogamous relationship and he still chose to post that. Let's say he did full-on cheat on her. And those of you who know me know that I hate cheating, and yet you are still not selling me on the he deserved to get punched in the face argument. Because listen, I don't know if you knew this, but you're allowed to just simply break up with people when they post things you don't like. You're legally allowed to leave people who cheat on you. What you are not legally allowed to do is beat the brakes off of them.
If you leave my stream and stop watching me, chat, I'm gonna hunt you down and punch you in the throat. For legalisms, that is a joke, chat.
Because do you know how many women cheat on men every single day?
No.
And I highly doubt you would be justifying any violence that occurred to them, as I would hope you wouldn't. But what she is implying from just 2 simple online threads posts is that he must be a chronic alcoholic and a chronic in-person rage baiter, and so she just couldn't help herself. And to that I say, I just do not have enough evidence to make that same bad faith assumption. In fact, I actually went back 6 whole months on this guy's post history, redacting all names and faces here, and it was literally only until very, very recently that any of his posts were even mildly dark and depressing. Prior to whatever hell on earth this relationship was, all of his posts were about how much he loved seeing his friends, traveling with his family, how much he loved going out and having a great time, loving life. He even posted wonderful things about trying his best to cater to protecting women as much as he possibly could. By all context clues I found, it really seems as though some demon entered his life and completely ruined him. But that's just my interpretation. Moonweaver and others clearly chose the most violent interpretation.
If a bitch has moon in her name, she's probably nuts.
Possible, with some even comparing him to Brian Laundrie, the man who murdered Gabby Petito. Here is Moonweaver again, lending credence to these comparisons. I remember this case. I truly hate the world we live in and how entitled men enable each other to be. They really are unstable.
That's so rich coming from a girl, man. You can go on Twitter and say, I fucking hate all men, and you'll get like 10 trillion updudes, man. Oh my god. It's so fucking cringe. How can you say
I recognize it miles
face?
Away in his tone. My baby daddy was like this and definitely cried to his mommy that I put hands on him after he'd been doing everything he possibly could to intimidate me after catching him cheating. Much like this guy's ex, I got fed up and set his ass straight. It's not all men, but it almost always is a man. And it's all starting to come together at this point.
Almost always is a man? You only date men, I'm assuming, though. Like, that's retarded logic.
Tell of the century. I get it now. The reason she is so quick to defend a complete stranger who beats men is because she also beats men. It's always a man, huh? Except when it's you, Moonweaver.
Yeah, beating a man.
Except when it's you. And Moonweaver did have a lot of support, I fear, including this comment from Stormy Leto with all of the confidence of an alpha male podcast bro saying that this man was definitely not hit by an intimate partner, despite admitting that men are hit all the time by women.
I beg your pardon, what?
So close. Almost there. Swing and a miss, ma'am. And again, I do not know how she can be so confident in this conclusion because no part of his post history does disprove his claim. As I mentioned, I went through his post history ad nauseum. This dude went from a happy-go-lucky, laid-back guy to a low self-esteem, depressed husk of his former self. At no point does he contradict his original claim that he was hit by a former partner or change his story. Even in his replies, all he ever does is thank people who do show him support, offer gratitude, while making very crystal clear that no matter what, he would have never hit a woman or hit them back, even while being hit himself. This is just one man's story of having to go private and go into hiding after not being believed and worse, being blamed. But
I mean, this happens all the time in court. When people hear that there's a domestic dispute case, even your unconscious bias is automatically to assume that it was the man that hit them, because men are more aggressive. Men tend to be the ones that are stronger. They are the ones that are pumped full of testosterone because they're naturally fucking pumped full of freaking manpower, right? But then when it turns out it's a woman, it's like, oh, well, what did he do to deserve it? Maybe he like cheated on her.
Fortunately, he's far from alone. There are so many precedent cases of men who have entirely lost their lives to this dynamic, and it deserves attention so that we can start changing the stigmas that keep men from being taken seriously. The first case that comes to mind at the very top of my head is the murder of Christian Toby Obumseli at the hands of his girlfriend, Courtney Clenny. You might remember this one.
I actually remember this. This was all over Twitter. This was fucked.
It's pretty recent, but Obumseli, much like this man, documented his abuse and tried texting other people.
30 stabs too. Yeah, and then they claim it's self-defense. That's what's disgusting. I hate the fucking people, like man or woman, when the killers are like, yeah, I did it out of self-defense. It's like, okay, you could have stabbed him once, but the body says there's 30 stabs. Yeah, well, he kept fighting, so I had to keep doing it. It's like, you fucking retard. What do you mean you had to keep doing it?
Frequently.
You stab someone once and they're like, oh, fuck. Like, ah, God, ouch.
Courtney was becoming more and more violent. Despite this, despite the fact that he was stabbed to death, despite the surveillance footage that showed Courtney beating on him without—
See, that's not playful. This is like I hate you type of vibe. Literally instantly clocking it in. The way she was shoving him?
Despite the surveillance footage that showed Courtney beating on him without him retaliating at all, just moments—
Oh my god, she's pulling his braids too. That probably hurts like a bitch.
For his death, and despite the fact that Courtney Clenny had absolutely no defensive wounds whatsoever, all she had to do was tell police on the scene that it was self-defense, and she was immediately cleared. Courtney got to continue living her life, going to the beach, partying, creating OnlyFans.
You stabbed your boyfriend to death, and then you just go and post your butthole on the internet. Like, not unironically, but get the asylum. Get a straitjacket, send him to the fucking asylum.
Content for 4 whole months before she was finally arrested and charged with—
Oh no, I got caught, no!
A second-degree murder. The next case that comes to mind is the case of Jodie Arias, who brutally murdered her ex-boyfriend Travis Alexander in a fit of rage after he dared move on with his life with another woman. This man was stabbed 27 times.
I've watched a lot of crime scene investigation and just general like anecdotal, not anecdotal experiences, but like actual real life documentaries. When women kill, it's fucking brutal. Yeah, like I know there's crimes of passion with men too, but like 80 to like 70% of the cases that I've seen with forensic files, you know, the stories from like the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, like it's 90% of the time, if it's a woman, it's very likely a fucking like a passion crime, and it's always super duper vicious.
In the face, had his throat slit, and was alive for most of it. Just like Obumseli, Alexander feared for his life and tried to warn people that he was terrified of Arias, but no one took him seriously. They interviewed Arias the very next day, and she admitted that she was there for his death, despite them being broken up and her having absolutely no reason to be there, but all she had to say was, well, it wasn't me, it was two masked intruders. I just happened to escape. And then
with no
never
wounds,
tell anybody.
With no wounds, and she didn't tell anyone
what happened. So they let her go. Weeks later, where they go, you know what? That
dude, fucking coppers, man.
Story actually didn't make much sense.
Cops.
Let's talk to her again. This time Jodie goes, okay, you got me. It wasn't two masked intruders. It was me, but it was an accident. There I was holding a loaded gun like you do when you go and visit your ex-boyfriend.
Please don't tell me they let her go, man. Don't tell me they let her go after she admits that she comes to her boyfriend's house with a loaded gun.
Have a quick
as
chat
you do.
and then...
Yeah, just as you do. Just go visit your ex-boyfriend. No, there's no ill intent in here. What the fuck are you talking about?
Whoopsie daisy. Pow, it just went right off into his skull. Crazy.
Into his skull.
Right? Oh, and the 27 stab wounds and the slit throat. I just got scared and panicked, but you know how that happened.
Slitting the throat is crazy work, and then saying it was an accident. Oh, he just fell into it and it exactly like horizontally cut his throat.
Just whoopsies. A total accident, right? And the police were like,
"Yeah, he fell on my knife like 37 times,"
and then didn't arrest her again.
They didn't arrest her after she admitted. Yo, coppers, bro. What the fuck? What did she do? Give him a blowy? What the fuck?
And people actually say that female privilege doesn't exist. A whole month.
Oh, it absolutely does. In cases like with I can't say the word. When a teacher and a kid are in relations and then a female teacher is the one that doing it to a little boy, oh, it's like seen as like a nice thing. Oh, it's like, oh, he got some, that's awesome, nice. Even South Park made fucking jokes about that. It's very true, even if it's like actually still fucking horrible, obviously. Like it's so unfair.
Later they finally arrest her, and even at trial, even after her several changing, contradicting stories, even though she also never had any defensive wounds, domestic violence groups and individuals still showed up to defend Jodie Arias. And
these Karens literally have nothing better to do than defend a murderer, unironically. I mean, are we really surprised when women write to like convicted murderers? No, like for real. I remember this is like stuck in my head. I think it was like maybe 2.5 years ago. I talked about a guy that had like face tattoos, full body tattoos. He murdered someone, ran over their body, and then he got let go, and then he took 2 more women and then ran one over again, and then he finally got sent to jail, and there are still women writing to them being like, free this guy, he would never do this to me. Yeah, Wade Wilson, I don't actually remember exactly what the case was, but I'm pretty sure he ran them over like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? They're like, oh my god, he's just like the Deadpool guy. He's so awesome. And because he's like a bad boy and he's not inherently unattractive, all these women were like sending him like panties in the mail and like saying like, oh, I love you. Yeah, he had a swastika on his, I think on his brow as well. Like, Bro, like, oh my god, he can change. Karens are so dumb, man.
Claimed that it was actually Travis Alexander who was the bad guy and made her act that way out of reactive self-defense. Luckily, after 3 whole days of deliberation, the jury finally understood the evidence enough to charge Jodie Arias with first-degree murder and sentence her to life in prison.
Good.
There are a lot more cases I could reference, but I think you're getting the point.
That's the most recent one, too.
That men make up for more violent crime than women do, but I definitely think it's ridiculous how often we just do not believe that female perpetrators and male victims
It took them 3 days of deliberation. Yep. And I am gonna say it. I'm gonna bring race into this too. It's because she's a white woman too. It's because she's a white woman. Yep.
It's always females have their own autonomies and their own
white woman. As a white woman myself, one of the biggest privileges ever.
Own identities until it comes to taking accountability for their own violent actions. It's always we care about all domestic violence survivors until one of them has a Y chromosome. If you're like me, I'm sure your cortisol levels are way too high, so let's wrap this up.
I'm used to it.
If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Men don't fail to come forward because nothing bad actually happened to them, or because toxic masculinity made their egos too big to talk about it, or because they actually did something wrong and have something to hide. They're not coming forward because they already know what happens next. They already know that the first question they're going to be asked isn't, "Are you okay?" It's going to be, "What did you do?" It's just the male version of, "Well, what were you wearing?" And neither of those are even remotely appropriate responses to someone telling you they've just been harmed. That's a reflex that
or like saying someone's ugly so like they didn't get SA'd. Like I think that shit is so fucked up. It's the same thing, just different variables. Oh, you're too ugly to get R-worded. It's like, okay, bro, like that's not a good argument, but okay.
Doesn't protect victims at all.
Oh, you're a man? Men don't get R-worded. No, they never do. They're the ones that are always doing it. No, that's a retarded argument. What are you talking about? Yes, victim blaming.
And if you've ever been guilty of this, it's time to dig deep and maybe unwork some of that reflex. And if you ever see someone being guilty of this, it's time to call them out. Because if harm only matters when the right person is hurt, then this has nothing to do with justice. It's all about optics. You don't have to like someone to acknowledge that they didn't deserve violence. You don't have to approve of someone's post history to oppose assault. If we actually claim to care about ending domestic violence and ending intimate partner violence, then it can't be conditional on gender or likability. It can't be a
equal
popularity
rights,
contest. Because until this changes, a lot of men are going to keep doing exactly what this guy did. Disappearing quietly, licking their wounds alone, and deciding that silence is safer than honesty. And that should make us all very afraid. Thank you so much for watching this all the way until the very end. This is one of the more important videos I think I've ever made, so it would mean a lot to me, and I think a lot of people watching, if you would just like the video so that this can get out there into the algorithm more, and help boost that algorithm by leaving your comments down below. And if you don't know what to comment, just say "stand with male survivors," because all of the engagement helps a ton. And if you did appreciate this video and you want to see more from me, definitely hit subscribe to my channel down below. All right, I think we could all stand to go take a walk and shake this one off a bit, but seriously, I hope this sticks with you. And like I said, I hope that you are less afraid to start calling this bullshit out.
No, I've never been afraid.
It's what the people need to hear.
I'm all
and thank
for
you once
equal
again
rights,
to Anson
equal
Belt and
lefts.
Buckle for helping sponsor this video, which helps the production
Justice
of
for
videos like these
everyone!
and get the message out there. That's enough for this one. I will see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. So much injustice in the world. Al Coppers, I can't believe it. I actually completely forgot about that case. Yeah, they let her go 3 times, I think. For where they finally were like, oh, I guess she may have done it. Oopsie whoopsie, she's a cute white woman. At least it did finally arrest him for Victor. I know, but it shouldn't have taken that long. It's just gross. It shouldn't have.
Oh, yeah.